Last night I saw a superhero. He was black. He said, "This is for the hood. Black Lightning's back." Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Unpopular Reviews. I am Blackbird. Yes, and today we're going to be discussing season 3 of Black Lightning, and it was an amazing season. But let me introduce to you my co-host for the evening, Mr. Jack Lightning. Come in, man. Come in. There you go. Come on, don't take yourself out. There
I didn't do
go.
that, Joe. Come on, Blackbird. You got to work with me. Hey! Had to switch it up for the show. Jack Lightning here. Instead of Black is Jack.
Oh, it looks like Victor got the popcorn ready. Very nice.
Oh,
Very
man.
nice.
He's so great.
Okay.
One of our great
and secondly, and last but not least, always we got Debo, we got Klepto, we have C the Superior in the house, ladies and gentlemen.
You guys are hilarious. You know what? I love the name Blackbird. I didn't even notice your name was Jack Lightning until you just said it.
I know. I gotta bring the corn, and I like the setup on how everything is because in case you guys put corn again, it won't be on top of me because I didn't get that last time. Yeah, someone. Hey, see, this time it wasn't on me. And look, and also too, I'm actually on the show this time. So like, you know, I thought I got a call out one time on the show, and I wasn't even there. So hey.
Oh yeah, shout out to Charmaine.
Love that girl.
But here we are.
Here we are, guys. What did you guys think of these 2 episodes? Just a quick synopsis before we dive deep into the dive through both episodes. What did you guys think about them?
I thought it was interesting that they just placed us in the middle of the Markovian like occupation. Like I thought it was interesting that they I don't know. I felt like a little out of place, honestly. This whole season. This is my second time watching through it. And I felt out of place for me because it was like suddenly we were in this occupied state. You know, it kind of came out of nowhere for me, even though they mentioned that, you know, the what's it called, the Markovians were coming and they would they would eventually take over Freeland. But this is like, I guess, a couple months later, and we're all occupied in Freeland. We're all living off of rations and everything else. So it was just, I felt like we were just kind of dumped into it.
You felt like it felt like while they told us about this, it was no build up to it. It felt like we were just straight into it. There's so many. Now, granted, and I guess we can just go into episode 1 of season 3, which is Black Lightning, chapter 1, the Book of Occupations, Birth of Blackbird. So it's the birth of you, sir. I mean, I don't know how much time has went by, but I mean, you could tell a great period went by because it's funny because they use words like quarantine and lockdown, and I mean, we went through that in 2020. This was literally a year before.
We was doing quarantine in real life.
Yeah.
Ain't that crazy watching the shit back and making you think about all of that in the song?
Oh, I had flashbacks.
And it's like this, a whole country is a Freeland.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
No, it is crazy because it was, I mean, granted, I mean, no one put me in a cage or anything like that, but I'm just saying, like, I said, wow.
What cage? Oh, not him personally, but yeah, people.
No, your cage was your house.
Oh.
Well, I mean,
that's my sanctuary. I don't know about y'all. I love being at home.
I mean,
I love being home.
There wasn't no COs walking around policing and checking to see if but everybody was told to stay home.
Yeah, that lockdown was serious. You know,
and it's coming right the fuck back.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know if that's a baby. That's a teenager because I can't deal with it. I'm so corny. But the opening scene of this first episode of season 3, you know, we got we're seeing a lot of metas. Well, I'll mention the first one because she was mentioned in the second episode. Hopefully I say her name right. Is Mayan. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce the last name. Muslim. She can blend into the environment, so she can pretty much turn invisible. She explains how she got not introduced, but how she got in contact with Greenlight. and pretty much she gets green light because of kids are cruel. She's Muslim, she don't eat pork, she don't eat all these things, and they put this green light. Hey, Charmaine, look, I'm on the show this time. You can actually give me a shout out. I'm here.
Right.
I'm here. I am here. Hi, Mark. Oh, this guy, Mark, he's great. I like this Mark guy. He's great. I like him. I know that lady.
Quincy.
I know that lady. That's my cousin. Yes, I like Black Lightning too. I almost said Blackbird. Blackbird is cool too. An American Dream. Hi.
Oh, thanks for sponsoring the episode yet again.
Yes, yeah. We gotta have a commercial with them one day. Like, I would love to do some kind of work with them. I don't know how, but we'll do. Like, I could wear a suit and maybe shorts underneath. And I don't know. I'm running my mouth.
Where the money resides.
Hey, we come up with a catchphrase and everything for them. Send them a 2-minute or a minute commercial. But she's talking about the abilities and how she got in contact with green light, and she gets green light because of some fools put that in her mail. So now she got it, because the way this all works out, this opening scene, they're getting it's not pressure. What is it? Like, they're getting they're getting questioned how you get in contact with it. And I thought I mentioned her because she does get mentioned in the second episode. So she does kind of play a role. Then there's this other guy named Devontae Jones. I only put him. He didn't matter because they never mentioned him again, maybe later on. But he's upset because he's like, I have no powers.
Yeah, he was wrongfully taken in.
Yeah, he was. But I wanted to point in his quote because I like to point out the things that are important about make it extra corny. Oh, hell yeah. I'm gonna bring the whole damn corn farm, baby. But but I wanted to mention him because I like to point out important things and things I thought was humorous. So he sits and says, I have no power, but he has hypertension and type 2 diabetes. He made it clear. Yes. You are picking the wrong person. So he was really just upset. And then obviously we get Jefferson Pierce. And they showed the day-by-day process was going on, like he's throwing up. He has this thing around his neck. So I guess it's supposed to neutralize him and neutralize him so he's not, he doesn't try to overpower anyone or he hurts anyone. I guess this is the way just to bring him, calm his powers down. I'm sorry, I don't have the right terminology for it.
What, neutralize his powers? Or I don't know if it was tracking him or what, but they did let him take it off. But that whole scene, I didn't really like that whole scene. It didn't make sense to me the way that they were speaking to a simulation or some kind of computer program.
Yes, that's how you say it.
And yeah, they did have like the display. You see them like at an angle, and then behind them you see the display, kind of like almost like a chalkboard, but it was like
information. Yes.
Yeah. But the fact that the Muslim girl goes into like her whole backstory didn't make much sense to me. I feel like it was kind of just like there for the viewer, not necessarily there for the story, because why is she going into this whole backstory with this simulation or this computer? You know what I'm saying? And it didn't ask her why she was here. It asked her what her powers were, or something like that. So I thought that was weird, but I thought visually it was interesting to look at, like, how they decided to display the powers and all of that. I thought that was interesting. And it did give us a look at Jefferson Pierce now, because he's a different man. He looks completely different. The quarantine beard.
There you go. There you go. No, he did. He looked tired. He looked old. He looked like
rough.
He did look. And listen, I'm a guy with a beard, but he did look rough.
Like, he was looking like a lot of dudes was looking back in June.
Yeah, the quarantine beard. Everything shut down. Can't do nothing.
Right before the barbershop opened up again.
Hey, Christopher Harris. Hope you're well. Drink water.
What are you doing? Good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while.
I haven't seen that red shirt in a while.
But after that scene, that's what leads us to what's her name? Clapback cornrows.
Jamelia Olsen or something like that.
Yeah. Those cornrows pissed me off. I hated those cornrows. It looked like she just left the stylist chair after she didn't finish getting her weave put in. They just left the cornrows there.
No, she was wow.
What was funny to me is when she hooked up with Anissa and she was acting like a nervous white girl. Like, I'm just like,
oh, she's like, I never did this before, and I don't know. Was this her first like lesbian experience? That's how they made it.
You know what? I don't think.
Here's the thing that didn't make sense, because after the fact, right? Because after when Anissa comes back and she's all getting back together with Grace and she comes and talks to her, then she's sitting there all cool, like, no, it ain't nothing. Don't worry about it. You ain't
Mhm.
bitch. You ain't nothing.
You know, but
She's sitting there acting like it ain't nothing. But then when she's sitting there kissing her, oh my God, I've never done this before.
Mhm.
I love Vic's interpretation of this because it makes it sound like you remember them old cartoons where if the guy got kissed, you go hubba 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 hubba. You know, they didn't know what to do. Like he was like, yeah. You know what I think? I think with her, she never. Not to say she never had. Krista, you act like is that her first lesbian action? I don't think so because I think she's done stuff with women, but goes to the
She's the one
bar,
who
then go to a club.
Like a
Huh?
one night stand hookup, random
Yeah, I
thing.
don't think I think that was new to her, and she's trying to say, "Well, I've never done this," but I, kept, like, well, I don't want to act like it was a part of anything like this, but I'm just saying, some people they'll just go with the mood, go with the. She know what to do.
Anissa.
Yeah, and this, yeah,
Anissa is a F girl. She's been one
oh
since
yeah, no,
season one.
Anissa is just nasty. Just straight. Listen, I have a few things because I took some notes. Guys, we were supposed to do this yesterday. These guys were really kind and said, "Let's just do it today." So I got to watch it yesterday, and I realized the Pierce family is just nasty.
Who? The
The
Cole
Pi-
Pierce family?
yes. Jennifer, I'll give her a pass right now, but the nasty's not too far from her. Because look, I saw Jefferson and damn, what's her name? Lynn. They were together, and
So,
Lynn is trying to make moves, and and,
uh-huh.
and here's Jefferson. There's a camera here. She didn't care.
Oh
She
yeah,
said,
lightning
"Oh yeah."
sex.
I said, "Oh, you just nasty."
Let me
I was
down,
I
let me
real.
mean, you know
down.
what though? No, here's the thing though. I get it. I get it. You know why?
Yeah, me
Because
too.
no, I get it. Because here's the thing, like when you've been with somebody for a long time
Mhm.
and you're comfortable with that person,
Mhm.
and it's been a while, your juices is going on in a second.
Oh, you
You know
don't care
what?
who's watching. Not
And
No,
even
let
the
me
he's
let,
right.
ASA if they in there. Oh,
and let
Mr.
me let, I
Odell.
mean, look, no, that's no, in my opinion, that's just what happens when you've been with somebody for a long time.
Mhm.
Like, like if you haven't seen them in a while,
Mhm.
like, yeah, you
Okay.
just looking for whatever, like, oh, what's good? How you doing? Yeah, I,
No, he's
I,
right.
I can resonate with that
No,
because
he's.
I mean,
Mhm.
It
Mhm.
I've
is
been
what it
with
is.
years, so if it's like a couple of weeks, yeah.
All right, so we can add Blackbird to the Freak Elite list on the Black Light
And it's not even
episodes.
Yeah.
freakily. It's not even about freakily.
Yes,
It's just like
it's.
if you're just accustomed, if you've been
Mm-hmm.
with somebody for a long, you see, look, Charmaine agrees with me. You see what I
Huh?
mean? If
Uh-oh,
you're
hold
just
on. Let's get
accustomed to,
Uh
if you're accustomed to be with somebody all the time, and like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, because she was probably getting it every day or every
I
other
mean,
day.
listen,
You know
I
what I
mean,
mean?
Jefferson. No,
They
no, no. I don't think it was every
didn't see
day.
each other for like
I
a
don't
couple of months.
look. Flag on the field. Look, I
What you
mean,
mean playing the field? They didn't
I
see
Well,
each
they
mean,
other.
were
yeah,
separated for a minute.
Man, listen, let
yeah,
me
they
just
were
tell you.
separated, and
I
he's an
can't.
old man. I don't think he was sitting there
Oh,
laying the pipe
what you
every day
mean?
of the week.
What you mean? You ain't never. What? Listen, man. Listen, man.
This
That
is a
cake,
whole nother
that cake,
He
conversation,
was
Vic.
fighting crime and
that
come home
cake
laying pipe.
was
Nah.
marinating for months. The marination was going on for months. You smell
This
me?
is Blackbird. This is not a turkey on Thanksgiving evening. Like, what's going on?
I mean,
The
listen.
juices, the
Clearly,
lightning
in the
juices.
beginning of the season, that turkey needed stuffing. You
Yeah.
smell me?
Well, it
So
was after the whole almost lightning sex scene. That's when Odell comes in, like the freak that he is in the
Yeah.
room.
Oh, he wanted to join.
no, he wanted to watch. He
He
was
wanted to
down to
watch.
watch.
You know,
You
look,
know he was down to watch.
if I can make a comparison, like, okay, remember that Paris Hilton tape? There was 3 people there. Think about it. There was
I never seen that.
Paris, that person. Me either. There was Paris, that person, and the camera. Odell was the camera. He stood right there, came
Oh,
out of nowhere, just
I
came
mean,
out. Yeah. Raphael from the Ninja Turtles showed up, sat here, and
gross.
just. I'm sorry, I can't deal with Odell because this man just ruins everyone's lives. I mean, I guess I can ask you guys this because I feel like, and maybe when we get to episode 2, I might change my mind. But I feel like episode 1, it showed how, and maybe there was so many different evidence, but I'm gonna stick with this episode. I felt this was the coldest that he was because I know when we get further, I mean, when we get further, we can talk about, but about
Mhm.
why I think that. But I felt like in this particular episode, he was just so cold. Like you knew he was bad. You knew these things. You got an idea. You understood what his intentions were. Um,
Mhm.
and you knew because I'm jumping ahead here, but I mean Odell in this episode, I mean wow, he was I was told on Entertainment we don't curse, but wow, he was a piece of crap in this episode, like a
Those
real
old
piece of
rules,
crap.
old rules. We curse now.
Oh! Gotta do this
Well,
one
But yeah,
side.
he was definitely a little
One
cool. I felt like we really got to see how calculating he is,
Yeah,
more so in this season. But that's when he interrupts them before the lightning six. He pretty much lets them know that they can't leave. Pretty much, he needs them for longer than what they anticipated, and that they can no longer leave. And they have to let the family know pretty much that they ain't leaving the ASA. They got some work for them to do. And that's when they later initiate like this 8:30 curfew around Freeland, and we get to see the black Surrey that Gambi put into Anissa's car. She's got a whole like get it set up like AI set up who talks to her and everything. I thought that was cool. After that, we find what is that? It was something with Gambi. Oh yeah, Gambi finds a weakness in the wall. So the ASA has set up like a border wall, like some kind of electric or some
it's
kind
like
of
an electric force
field.
Not
Force
electric,
field.
but it's like a force field. Yep.
Yeah. And he was able to find a weak point in the wall that they plan on utilizing for Anissa to
Escape.
yeah,
It's pretty
escape
much
and
the Underground Railroad.
yeah, exactly. She's pulling out metahumans out of Freeland and onto safety because they are like hunting metahumans all through Freeland. And that's when we get a little shot of Anissa's clappers, Blackbird clappers. I don't know why they were in the episode, but we get a shot of that when she's looking in the mirror and she got her little pantyhose on. She walks through the mirror and she's got like this whole Batcave situation working in her closet.
Yep. It's like some old like 1960s, 70s.
I love how Siri / Alexa turned to Shonda.
Right.
Like
Shonda
that.
played, what did you say? Aretha Franklin.
No, it was Shaka Khan.
Oh, Shaka Khan.
Shaka Khan.
And it played.
Right out. She's just acting like this smooth ass dude.
So it was.
I mean, I mean, we're jumping the gun here, but I did want to bring this piece up because in this episode we was introduced to Commander Williams. That was the meta who can pretty much mimic everyone's ability. You know, I just want to throw it in. That's the guy who was on Jamie Foxx, the guy who always got shitted on by Jamie Foxx. So when I saw him, I bust out laughing immediately. I just thought we should bring in some context about him because he was a really big deal in this episode. We was introduced to him. They showed his ability. He beat this dude called Ned. I'm trying to see if I remember his own name. It was Ned, some name, Ned Cregan, aka something. I'm sorry, his pronunciations were crazy. But he uses his powers, beat this guy, detain him because early in the episode, Anissa and a bunch of group, I guess from the because she works at the hospital, right? She works at the hospital, right? Because
this season, no longer a teacher.
No, because I asked that because I was looking at her apartment. I said, "Wow, that is like the coolest apartment ever."
Swanky as hell. Nice little loft situation. Exposed brick. It's beautiful. Floor to ceiling windows.
You can clearly see what she used to get that because she was working as an intern. Like, you know what I mean?
I was an intern too. I made no money, so I must be doing stuff wrong.
She's a college student who works at a public school and part-time at a hospital. Where's all this money coming from? Is she stealing bags as Blackbird? That's what it is.
I do think a little bit of that do play a little bit because, like, I mean, I don't want to jump the gun, but I'm gonna jump the gun here. But yeah, I'm beginning to wonder that too because, like, you guys mentioned that
my face because I'm a bank robber.
There you go. And then she disguised her voice with that, whatever that thing is. But yeah, I just thought it was important we mentioned Commander Williams because he does play a fair amount spot in this episode. I mean, even the episode where he goes and approaches Officer Hairline, and he just tells him like, you know, now this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do the lockdown. Obviously, Officer Henderson. Yes, I am. Matter of fact, hold on, I got you. I was asked. Hold on.
Nice.
But
Nice. He took
Green light.
yes, no,
We
it's
don't
just
call it drinking on this episode. We call it a green light. We got the green light on
we
deck.
do. We sure as hell do. But I mean, he was just.
I want to have it next episode because that shit got me too twisted last episode.
Oh no, that was hilarious when we started, and I remember like when he took the first sip, he said "ooh," and I knew right there and there. I said, "I want some," because when someone says "ooh," I want to try it. Except if it's like bungee jumping, I don't trust that.
We gotta buy like a bottle of that, but it's definitely gotta get chased, man, because that is a throat burner right there, like that.
That sounds terrible.
I'm not gonna lie.
Green light isn't good for you, as we saw. Like it makes you unstable.
Yeah, you gotta be Blackbird. You gotta be careful with that because they're gonna detain you, and then we gotta find a third person for the show. We don't need you being.
Why would they detain me? What's wrong with the drinking? What's the problem?
Because you're a metahuman, and they got to round up all the metahuman, which is why Blackbird. You know, we had that scene where she kind of stops the ASA from taking over these new group of metahumans in this bus. She has this cool fight scene. She takes over the bus and drives them, and we weren't sure where she drove them until we get the scene with Reverend Holt, and it turns out Reverend Holt is kind of like temporarily holding these metahumans before she can bring them across the wall.
I renamed Reverend, like it was Holt. I called him Reverend Pinky because from Friday. So because I couldn't think of his actual name. Yeah, that was Pinky. So when I saw him, I said, "Damn, what's his name?" I just put Reverend because like you know how when you don't know names. I mean, look, we're gonna still talk about Black Lightning.
From Friday.
He was in Friday, yeah.
He was Pinky.
Wait, you talking about Friday after next?
Yeah, the record store owner.
Yeah.
I know you were talking about the first Friday. He wasn't in no first Friday.
Okay. Yeah, with Pinky. Well, yeah, the second Friday, but still Friday franchise. He was in it.
Come on.
But yeah, it turns out that's where that's kind of like the first stop on the Underground Railroad before she gets them across.
And even beforehand, that's when Reverend Holt, he has that interview with Jamelia. I'm probably pronouncing the name wrong. Yes, the cornrows. He had the interview with cornrows, and you could tell she was really like, well, Blackbird's breaking the rules. And you see, they're having an exchange here where she's just against everything that Blackbird is doing. And Reverend Holt is just saying, "I'm going to pray for your sister." Yes. And then they go in there. He goes into the room sweating with a cane. And that's when he tells her, like, we got to get them somewhere because the church is getting full. And, and I think also, too, because you see it later on, I think even in one of the scenes, the next scenes that you see Blackbird in, they're scared. They just want to make sure because with everything going, it's so uncertain. They want to make sure they're being led to the right place. Matter of fact, if I can go to the next scene with her, that's where she's walking. This guy's saying, she don't know where she's going. Hell no, we're being set up. How we know we're gonna work with her? To the point where Blackbird had to like deck him. And I know you're not a big fan of anything with Anissa, but I said, yeah, good. I think he deserved that.
They did that in order to strengthen the comparison to Harriet Tubman. That's all it was. That's the only reason they added, because it was even there was these stories about Harriet Tubman when there were like the slaves that were kind of weren't trying to go along. So it's either you bring them along or you risk everyone else dying because they making a whole big scene. So you just gotta deck them.
You see, I
drag them across to freedom.
I thought they were doing a Malcolm versus Martin situation with father and daughter.
That scene only comes in when Black Lightning is in there, because Black Lightning comes in with there's a better way of handling it, and Anissa is just like bump that eye for an eye. That's the only time the Malcolm.
Yeah, I think that's the overall theme. Like that's their dynamic for sure.
But even with her,
truth be told, she could tone it down a little bit.
What do you mean?
She could definitely tone it down a little bit.
She comes across as a little aggressive sometimes, and I understand you have to take it there on occasion. But I'm not sure. But again, I'm not a big fan of Anissa, so I don't want to come across as too judgmental because you already know.
Yeah, but no. But you guys got a point, because in these last 2 episodes, she was very aggressive.
I personally love the character. I love the strength behind the character. I think she's fine as hell.
Me too.
The only problem I have with her is that like she's a bad actress.
Thank you.
whenever she inhales,
Honestly,
whenever
Steve been
she
saying
gets
that for the longest.
whenever she gets mad, she looks like a little kid. You know what I
She
mean?
can't carry the emotional depth that it calls for sometimes.
You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Maybe it should have been somebody else that maybe had the facial expressions that could carry the Harriet Tubman situation. Like this role is for somebody that's like
I would say someone more experienced in that spot. I can see that.
Yeah,
you know
she's a
what I
beautiful
mean?
girl. I feel like she does well in certain scenes, but if she has to do something beyond like basic level emotions, like beyond surface level, she's not that great at emoting, that way. But
this might be like a beginning role for her, but I love the character.
I feel like I've seen her in other things though. I'm not sure.
Stuff. There was a Meek Mill's movie or something like that. She was in that.
Oh, okay. I think I've seen that movie before.
She's done stuff, but I think Black Lightning really. Matter of fact, and this was after Black Lightning, but she was in this movie with Tyrese. There was a movie. It was with Tyrese and
was it the police movie?
Yes.
She was in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Not as the main girl though. The main girl was somebody.
No, I don't think she was the main girl. I never saw it. I mean, I don't know, but I know she was in it. But I think that Black Lightning was really what gave her a lot of these opportunities. I mean, I'm pretty sure she's been acting for years, but this was something that really put her onto the map. I think so. I could be wrong, but I think that's what, because I didn't know about her until Black Lightning. But yeah, I think I can see what you guys are saying. Like you guys look at you with us, Blackbird?
Yeah, I mean, I like the character. What I like about the character is just that, like, there. Number one, there's a historical aspect, and then she's like playing good. She's playing Jekyll and Hyde, in a sense.
Oh yeah, she felt like that in this episode.
Playing Thunder, and then she's doing all of these little things, right? But what I like about it is kind of like she's getting her feet wet everywhere, right? The only problem I have with it is that I feel like she's
a lot of water.
The only problem I have with it, I feel like she's a little bit too aggressive and taking on more than she could. You know what I mean? She's making promises that she can't necessarily keep, and that's why like the Sanjay are already starting to get tight with her.
Yeah. Oh, the Perry. Isn't the Perry? Yeah, the Perry.
The Purdy.
Yeah, Purdy. Yeah. So it was after that other scene. That's when we get to the scene where we see this Asian girl. She's displaying like powers that are very similar to Lightning's, to Jennifer's powers. We cut away from that. Then we get the scene where Gambi and Anissa feel like they've spotted Grace, because Grace is like, on the run somewhere. Nobody knows where Grace is.
Right.
And after that, we get the Clapback News lady again. That's when the scene that we mentioned earlier when they hook up.
Clapback. I love that. Clapback.
Clapback cornrows, man.
Yeah. CBC, baby. CBC.
Yes. Then we get the that's also where Clapback mentions that she believes that the clinic in Freeland is kind of like a front set up by the government to identify Metis. There was just a little droplet that she sprinkled in during the hookup scene that I thought was important. Then we have back to the Asian girl. She's in like some diner, and then she gets approached by this boy with dreadlocks. They have like this cute little moment. Next thing you know, Anissa drives up in the Gambi mobile and tells the Asian girl to get in.
The Gambi mobile.
Yes, the Gambi mobile.
I just imagine a car with his face on it and his nostrils.
Right on the hood.
That's right.
But the girl gets in, and that's when we figure out she taps her arm or something, and she turns back into Jennifer. So the whole time, the Asian girl from earlier in the show was actually Jennifer, which makes me think.
Yeah. She's like,
if they had all this technology.
Yeah.
Sometimes they do things that I think don't make sense for the French, because if they have the Lazarus Project that brings you back from death, then they have this where you can just look like anybody for an infinite amount of time. And if there were limitations to it, they didn't necessarily explain it then. Right. I don't know if they explained it later in the season. I can't remember.
I don't think so. I think it was one of those things where you what's it called? How do you say suspend your disbelief? Because I get what you're saying. You're almost like, well, why didn't we have this earlier, right? Like, why didn't we
yes.
But maybe it was something like I'm just trying to give them the benefit of the doubt here. Maybe it was something that it fit for the narrative. I guess that's the best way I can come up with. Because where
Yeah.
else? Where else? Because like the cloaking device worked because they were on lockdown, and I guess, and also too, I don't know if these kids could go out anywhere. I forget that and whatever. Because I know Jennifer. They were always checking if Jennifer was home, if she was home. So I think it was just to fit a certain scenario, a certain situation, compared to the other two seasons of like why would she wear it?
Hmm.
Although you could say she could have wore that when they were on the run because
Yeah.
no one would have knew that was
That's what
them.
I'm saying. If they're just doing it for the plot, that's just lazy writing. That's something I don't appreciate when they just write stuff
No,
in
but I mean,
just because it's convenient and it's never brought up again, never spoke of ever again.
they started
But
the season months after the end of the previous season, where they had gotten taken into the pit and all of that.
yeah,
So
this happened months after, but it's still Gambit, even if they should have mentioned that, oh, this is new technology that Gambit just created and we're utilizing it now. They never
yeah.
mentioned anything about it being new that I remember. But anyway, it was after that scene that that we get the interrogation of Issa, the boy who can make people
Oh,
tell
that's
the
his name.
truth.
I called him Truth Boy.
Truth boy. Yeah, his name is Issa, like Issa Rae.
Issa. Oh, there we go. Issa
So,
Truth.
yeah, Issa Truth. He's
Issa
interrogated Tobias, and we see
Yeah.
Tobias looking like an old man. He said he's dying from old age. All his years are catching up on him, and all of that. And Issa is interrogating him or Odell is interrogating him via Issa to get him to tell the truth about the briefcase. The briefcase is something that was last seen with Tobias, and everyone's trying to get to this briefcase.
Yeah.
But Tobias somehow he kind of like messes up his words so much that he could get away from the truth serum or the truth Issa, because he never really answered the last question all the way. It's kind of like he kind of found a way around it.
Yes, I actually want to talk about this actual segment.
What?
Because, huh?
Yeah.
What did you say, Chris? No, I was gonna say because like this was actually intriguing to me because obviously with that ability to make you tell the truth, no one's able to, like the way Tobias was able to, like you said, switch his words around, able to almost find a loophole with this particular, because everyone that's ever got, they spat out the truth. They would just, but he was able to just be like avoid a question and point out everything that Odell was trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
His I don't know, Tobias to me, like when he did that, I was like, wow, that's I don't know. I was actually really amazed by that because no one's ever been able to reverse that maneuver.
Tobias is like the Lex Luthor of this universe.
Yeah.
He is evil. I agree.
Everybody's loving Anissa.
Yeah, this is dope.
Great. But yeah, so it was, again, he got to kind of word his way around the truth, Issa, which I thought was interesting. And this is where we get to see a little bit how maniacal Odell is, because after using Issa, he kills him. He kills him like the dirty dog he is. I feel so bad for Issa.
The way that he kills is gangster, like that's
and Issa knew, he was expecting it. And it was just like, oh, poor Issa. But then it's like his power. When did he come back? Like, I wonder if they're going to bring him back in later seasons because was brought back from the dead.
Yeah, he just came back alive, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so I wonder if he comes back later. I don't know. I hope they do bring him back because I think he was an interesting character. But they he killed him off. And not only did he kill him off, he lied to Lynn about killing him off, because later in the very next scene, we have Odell sit down with Lynn and pretty much tells her that, Issa was taken by the Markovians and the Markovians killed him or something like that. And asked if she wanted to say her last goodbyes to him. So he lied about it to her.
Mm-hmm. But he manipulated her. The way he manipulated her is just insane, man.
Yeah,
but he knows what he's doing. He's actually really smart on how he does these things. He just knows. He's really cool. Like this episode, I was like, wow, he's because it's been a while since I saw this. So when I'm watching it again, I forgot that Issa Rae dies. So like I'm sitting there going like, well, I don't know what's gonna. I didn't know. I didn't know Lawrence was gonna take her out. But that's an insecure joke. I'm sorry. I'm all over the place.
I've never
But
Oh,
seen
wait,
that show.
speaking about that,
oh, it's
should
such a
we do
great show.
that's
Never
Huh?
seen it.
something we should do?
I
Yeah, I've
love
never
that
seen
show.
it either.
I'll do it if you guys want to do it. I love that show. Actually, it's a really good show.
I've never
Um.
seen not even one episode.
All right,
Oh, then
you should. Anyway, we'll get back to that. But go
there
ahead.
we go. We'll get back to it. We'll have a
So
conversation off air. But yeah, when he the way he took out Issa Truth, it was just so cold. Even where and Issa knew. He kept saying, "You're gonna kill me. You're gonna kill me. Why are you not killing me?" And when Odell just says like this, like he's like,
you're rooting for Tobias?
"Sorry, should never
You're a
die," and
villain.
Black Knight. I don't care. I'm rooting for Tobias.
I
This
mean,
guy's for the hills. This guy's for the hills.
after a while, like you start to see, I don't know, maybe it's the wrestling fan in me, but after a while, like you start to like, kind of like the heel. You know what I mean? You kind of start to like the bad guy.
Yeah,
That
that's
guy is
true.
so cunning. Like this
Yes,
guy
here I am.
But I can kind of see that because there's a movie that we're going to be reviewing later next week that I kind of felt the same way about that villain. So I can kind of understand it. I don't like Tobias, but I can see where somebody might like him.
I don't know who's
Um,
behind. I don't know who's behind all this, but just take it easy, please.
no, Boston legal.
I love
No
I
thanks.
love the suggestions there, but
Yeah,
yeah, but he
leave a
was.
suggestion for a show you would like us to cover.
We'll do it.
After Black Lightning, anybody watching, just leave us a suggestion in the comments.
And yeah, we'll do it. I'm not open to a lot of shows, but if it's something I'm not interested in, I
We'll
say
just skip past.
no. I'll watch it. I'm just gonna drink. Like if it, I mean, I can't promise I'll be on the show. Stable.
Cognizant.
There we go. I like that word. Good job. That word does not fit me. But yeah, I mean, just show how dark he is, how conniving he is, how he uses people. Will Easter come back? Possible. I mean, does anybody really dies in comics or TV shows? I mean, I
Not
guess
in this
except
one if we got the Lazarus thing.
I know, right? Like, I mean, people are just waking up from that. Like, I love that he was dead and then he just woke up, like almost like, oh, I'm sorry, I just took this nap. Like, I thought that was hilarious. You see the coffin or the body bag moving, and I mean, I know I'd be creeped the hell out, but I love how like it's almost like no one just really like you said, there's a pit apparently where you can bring people alive.
Mhm.
It's almost great. It's a good thing none of this stuff is real because I think in the wrong hands this be terrible.
Yes, it
Um,
would.
oh, it would be dreadful. Oh my goodness.
But we're almost to the end of this episode. Pretty much, Issa dies. He lies about it. We got the scene where Anissa brings through a couple people through the hole in the force field.
Force field, yeah.
And at the very end of the episode, we get to see Lala. Lala comes back to life in his little motel room, and he's right next to the briefcase. So the briefcase everybody's been trying to find, looking for, is with Lala. And that's the end of the episode 1 of season 3. And that's where it's
I
gonna go back.
love when he comes back. Like
Yes.
he's just like the Kenny from South Park. Like he dies.
Right.
He dies and he just comes back and he's just like, oh hey guys, what's up? Like
See, he's my Tobias. Like I like him. I like him as a villain. I think he's an interesting character. I like him better than Tobias. Even though I do enjoy Tobias, but not to the extent.
I do want to sit here and say this. Jefferson did have this ability where he was able to have like a sixth sense. In this episode where he was able to look, like when he looked down, he saw Tobias, and that's when he knew, like, oh yeah, Tobias looked like crap. I mean, I just wanted to mention that little tidbit right there. But I thought this was a good episode. I thought it was a great opening. Maybe it was all over the place, but I thought it was a good opening. The main focus wasn't Jefferson. It was really just the kids and what's his name, Uncle Gambi or Gamboni. He was there. I thought it was a fun episode. I thought it was fun. So we go to chapter 2, which is Book of Occupations. Chapter 2, Myers. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce this. I mean, they put words, and I just said, nah, I'm not gonna try this. But one of you guys, do you want to open up what the opening scene was?
Sure. This is when we also get kind of similar to the last episode. It opens with the Muslim girl, Maya, or I forget her name.
Yeah, no, you
But
got
it
it.
opens with her, and she discloses that she is deteriorating, like she's feeling sick, losing her hair, like she's having all of these ailments, and she's not sure where they're coming from, if that's from her powers or something that they're doing to her there. We also get the scene, and right after that, we get a scene back to Lala, where he's back in the hotel room surrounded by some goons discussing what they're going to do with the briefcase. We also get, after that, we get the scene where Officer Hairline, he has a press conference and pretty much says that there will be a media blackout all through Freeland, because allegedly something that happened was broadcasted through the media, which caused like some kind of attack to happen in Freeland. So that's their justification for having this media blackout throughout the whole of Freeland. We get, for the first time, we're introduced to Truth Teller Johnson, and this is like this, mysterious voice broadcasting, through XM radio to all of Freeland illegally, because there's this media blackout. And he's there just to kind of expose the government in a way in Freeland. So we get a little bit of him. We get Odell gets a message saying that there's going to be a large scale attack, and he gets it to his computer. Black Lightning and have a agreement with Lynn about her working with the ASA, because he's like, look, you shouldn't help them. And she's like, look, I'm here to help the pod kids. I'm not going to sacrifice these pod kids for, whatever reason, even though Black Lightning is like, look, sometimes you got to let them go for the greater good. And she ain't down with that. We also
I felt like, and I'll let you, you're doing a great job. I just think I almost felt like this was forced. I kind of laughed when they were arguing. I think they were getting ready to lay down or something like that. And then they started fighting. And I don't know. I just thought that, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting there saying, Lynn, you just got back with your man. Like, what are you doing?
It's a couple things. I feel like it's very realistic, because the argument can happen any day, anytime.
No, you're right. You're absolutely. Listen, I've seen women get mad over not eating, so you're absolutely right.
I'm not going to blame the woman. She wasn't even the one fighting. That was Jefferson going to bring it up. So I don't think you should be doing this. This is the second time he tries to take control over her job. Like, even the first thing, he was like, look, you shouldn't be doing this. And she's like, look, this is my life's work. This is what I want to do. This is my purpose in life, to this science or whatever. So this is him again trying to come after that same road that he already noticed about to lead to argument, talking about she shouldn't be doing the work that she was meant to do. And she ain't about that. She already said she wasn't about that. That's a sore subject for her. Don't bring it up. If you do, it's going to be a fight, and that's what happened.
That's fair. Hey, listen, fireball champagne. I get it.
He can't care for her, and then when she's worried about him, he gotta do whatever she says.
No, it's not necessarily about him caring for her, or I
feel like great observation.
It's about him having this. He has this belief that she's helping them, and her helping them is going to lead to the detriment of Freeland and all of that. So I don't think that he feels like Lynn is necessarily in danger. He feels like her work is going to bring everybody in danger. So does he have a point? Possibly.
He definitely does. No spoilers, not trying to spoil it, but he has a point.
But she doesn't want to kill these pod children. It's like she sacrificed these kids who've already had 30 years of their lives stolen from them. I don't know. I don't know what I would do. But interesting.
I eat ice cream.
Oh, yeah. Facts. I might use some ice cream. But it was after that little fight scene, we get to where we figure out that Black Lightning can kind of disrupt the ASA's ability to hear their conversations. Colonel, whatever his name, Commander Williams comes in. He has like this little pissing contest with Black Lightning. And it's funny because I think either in the last episode or this episode, they disclosed that he is himself a meta. He's just an unstable meta, but he has this hatred towards metas.
That was the last episode. No, you're right. Last episode.
He's a ditto.
He is a ditto. Absolutely. That's a Pokemon reference. I got that. Yeah. Oh my god. I got that reference. So
the black light, the green light, the mess up.
Help me. But no, he is a ditto because he could copy anyone's maneuver, but his powers, I don't think his powers it's like Gambino. He mentioned like his cells, it's like he has sicker cells, something like that.
Yeah, he's
so
unstable.
It's like he gotta take it's unstable, so he gotta take medicine for it. So yeah, he has this disdain, because even when he said, You met her. It was almost like he said the N-word to Jefferson. Jefferson
The
said,
Meta, yeah, he has this hatred towards Meta.
Yeah.
Why you
Even though
saying
he
it
is one.
Why you saying it like it sounds like a curse word? Why does it sound like
Yeah, I loved when Jefferson said that because he just
Mhm.
reminded me of someone who goes like, one of them old church folks who sat there and said, "Why are you saying it like it's a curse? Get right with Jesus." So I loved all of that. I love like Chrissy said, it was a pissing contest. Thank God no one really was pissing because that's nasty. But this scene was like I said, this dude, like I said, this the guy from the Jamie Foxx show. But carry on. Go on.
And they mentioned last season that, or was it for season 1 or season 2, that Jefferson was one of the only stable metahumans. Like everyone else either like kind of like deteriorates or has to take like these injections, kind of like Tobias has to take injections.
Right.
So that makes sense that the guy, Commander Williams, has to do it. But then it also makes me wonder about Painkiller, because does he have to take injections too? Because he does have that meta power where he can shoot those poison, whatever the heck it is.
That's actually interesting, but they never. Go ahead, Vic. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I mean, Blackbird, BB.
Okay.
What'd you say, Blackbird?
Okay.
Nothing.
No. Sorry. I didn't want to talk over nobody.
No,
you're good. Go ahead.
The thing about Khalil is that he's just consistently brought back to life and recreated. Like he doesn't like his abilities don't necessarily come from green light or the metagene. First, it was that mechanical spine. Then, everything, the little chip that they put in his brain, and they just keep messing with him. But he's basically the example of the human guinea pig,
Right.
because they turned him into a computer.
Did the experiment just put the spine in him to make him walk, or was it that to give him metahuman powers?
No, the spine pretty much was the main thing.
His power.
Because what was his powers really? He was shooting darts.
He poisons you. He poisons you.
No, he was shooting darts.
Yeah, but that poisons you.
Yeah.
He had a mechanical spine. He was shooting darts, right? And then he was just like pretty much just jumping around and flying around. Now, whatever it is that he took that made his hair grow like crazy, I think that might have been the only thing. It might have been the one thing that he regenerated himself and all of that, but it clearly didn't give him all the powers that, or he definitely didn't even go through all of the symptoms of what happens with green light. So like
that's what I'm thinking. Why does he not have to take these injections that makes it so he doesn't get sick and die?
Maybe it's just that it's almost like anything, like how like when you take medicine everyone reacts differently. So I'm just assuming, I don't know, I have no idea, but maybe it's just his body was able to take it rather than someone else's whose body is unstable. I don't know.
Then if that's the case, there shouldn't have been this whole hubbub about getting Jefferson Pierce, because he was the only one who has a stable power.
But I think they only and I think only because at the time that was the only one they knew. I think Khalil, once they did tests and stuff, they probably peeped it. Like, I don't know, because you asked some really deep questions, because I know the spine was to keep him so he can walk. All the other stuff, like when he shoots the poison, I said, oh, that's mechanical. That's like a gadget or something like that, because he's not just shooting it out of his hand. It's literally in whatever it is that he's wearing. But everything else, because
but later on he uses it without the spewing of the darts. So that also makes me think, okay, is he kind of like Wolverine? You know how Wolverine, his actual power is, rejuvenation.
Yeah, he has a strong healing factor. He got a strong healing factor.
Yeah, so they only enhanced him by adding in, the vibranium and whatever it is, or not vibranium, and what's it called, antimanium, or I can't even think of it right now.
Shield. It's just Captain America's shield.
Yeah, no. It's gonna piss me off because I know it, but now that I'm on the air, people are like, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about." No, I do know it. It's just I'm having like a brain fart. But pretty much, yeah, they added that to him, so that's not his power. So I'm wondering if Khalil, if his actual power was the poison thing, and they just enhanced it by putting in his metal spine and put it in those darts so it can kind of like.
I think it's possible. I mean, I really think the metal spine was to keep him so he's standing, like, because once they took that metal spine, he couldn't do anything.
Nothing.
Like, you know,
Yeah.
no, he couldn't do anything. But it's intriguing. I mean, it's very, very intriguing. I did not think about that. But
All right. So, but back to this episode, we got Black Lightning. Also, he started to doubt the legitimacy of the Markovians. He's not sure if it was something that the ASA made up or what. Then we get the very next scene. We get to this something called Wolfsbane Mountain, this new location, and that's when we're introduced to someone called Colonel Motson or
Colonel U Muscle or something. I said it all wrong, but it's Colonel. We'll call him Colonel Sanders.
Yeah, Colonel Sanders. Yes. And that's when we find out, okay, well, they weren't lying about this whole Markovian thing. They're actually Markovians, because that's what this guy was. And he has like this whole troop of Trump supporters coming out of the woodwork. And that's when we have their introduction. We also get that Commander Williams comes in and asserts martial law over the Freeland PD.
Yeah.
Blackbird. This is when we get the Blackbird and the Purdy girl. They start to bump heads because Blackbird, she brings the metahumans to the Purdy farm to kind of hide them out.
That's what it's called.
Which makes absolutely no sense, because in the last season, if not for Blackbird, you motherfuckers wouldn't have had, you know what I mean? Excuse my language. But like, y'all wouldn't have had nothing. Now you sitting here getting all uppity, acting all bougie. Right?
I feel like that's human nature, though. How quickly we forget.
When you see the meta starts bringing up the plant, by the way, that's the power I want. What? You know, type of
that would totally be you, bro. That would totally be you.
You know how much money? Anyway.
Wait. Hold on. Before we move on, there's a quote that Vic always says. I see a lot of you guys on Unpopular Review movies. And Vic, if it's Summer Guardians, what do you say? I am what?
He knows it. Yeah, it's been a while.
What is it?
I am.
Yeah.
There you go. Pretty much, Vic would be the tree.
Yes. It's been a while since he made that, but yeah, that's definitely him. I am Groot. He would have definitely had that power.
That's why I was so disappointed. I was kind of disappointed. I was like, come on, don't do this. Like, I look like a fool.
Right, we're live.
Come on, we live. We're doing live. I'm sorry.
But yeah, so that's when they bump heads with Purdy people.
If I can interrupt and whatnot, this scene, because y'all were just pointing out how like Anissa, she's sometimes very aggressive. This scene, this is where I was like, yo, I think this is one of the scenes where I kind of said, oh, here we go. Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go. I love when we mentioned it. Yes, there we go. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
Get his friend.
There we go.
Listen, Aloe is a man's and a girl's best friend.
Hey, there we go.
Bahamba? That's when they get into the fight.
Yeah, and she was very aggressive. Was ready even to fight the deaf guy. I said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Come on!" And then one of the people on his farm, and she punched him. And even I forgot. I'm gonna pronounce the name all wrong. I won't do that. But the lady sat here and said, "You punched him kind of hard." Well, don't get in my way. I said, "Okay, Bruce Wayne. I think you need to calm the hell down." She was kind of aggressive. She was wild. I mean, she just seemed like someone where like, you know, like she'll just throw you through a wall if you accidentally step on her shoe, or if you like put a little too much salt in her steak, she'll just throw you through a wall. You know, I thought I was really not confused, but I was like, wow, I don't know, but carry on.
But yeah, that's what she's learned to do. She don't got Black Lightning to reel her in, so she's been out there going wild. But also after that, we get the scene where Odell walks in on Jennifer in her home and pretty much lets her know that, you know, her family is kind of, they don't have to worry about the rations because they're special and all of that. And he delivers the message that the video message from her parents that they have to stay there a little longer and everything's going to be okay, blah, 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 blah. Then we're on to Lala. And Lala he drives up on these little hood rats. He's like, look, I'm trying to get back in the game, like into the drug game. And they're pretty much kind of skeptical because Lala's been gone for a minute. This new drug lord started to take over, and they're kind of like, I don't know, because and keep in mind, he pulls up on these harass with a crew, like he got his goons with him and everything. So they're like, look, we're trying to get back in the drug game. And then when he's talking to the harass, they're like, look, what are you gonna do against so and so, because it's just you. And that's when we look back at Lala and we see that he sucks in all of the goons that we saw into his tattoos into his chest.
Right.
So whole time, these weren't goons that anybody else saw. These are old victims of his that he's been having these conversations with, been driving around the hood with. The whole time we thought it was like a, no, not soft. We thought it was his crew, but only he can see them.
Right.
And again, it was just his, tattoo victims coming back. He is not soft. Lala is the ish. They just write him. They just give him bad.
Well,
right?
It depends. I mean, he did get shot. I think it does ease up the flush a little bit, but maybe I'm wrong. But go on.
Yeah.
There we go. A little corn for everybody.
Also, Gambi drives up to Officer Hairline and mentions something about something called a comp drive that's going to enable him to get Anissa safely back through the force field that's around Freeland.
Can we an Officer Hairline though? It was hilarious because there's a spot where Gambi comes in with the cloaking device, and when he gets into a car and he takes it, he's like, "Damn, do you have any more technology?" Like he was really annoyed with, because I just imagine like Officer Hairline, once he found out about Jefferson being Black Lightning, now he's sucked into this world, and now he sees Gambi, and now he knows Anissa is lightning. I mean thunder. I mean, it's funny, he thought that was Lynn. I thought that was hilarious. I said, oh, now the man needs glasses. Because hairstyle, but whatever. But he's stuck in this new world, and now he sees Gambi, and he's just like, damn, like can my life get any more complicated? And Gambi and him have this back and forth because he's like, because even oh god, I forget his name, but Hairline, he sits there and says like, I love Anissa, but I have a family to provide for. To which Gambi just makes him change his mind and says like, hey, look, we want to do what's right, or are you just gonna follow orders? Which lead into this next scene. Carry on.
He was able to convince him to help him get these comp drives, and he pretty much Officer Hairline pretty much provides a distraction so again we can come in and take those comp drives. I love how
he's cemented as Officer Hairline. Like that was
what is his real name? I forget, man. His office
I forget, and I don't even care.
Henderson, ladies and gentlemen. Henderson.
That's really close to Hairline. Henderson. Officer Henderson.
But look, me.
You can call him Officer H if that'll make you feel better.
Freeland, one day, ladies and gentlemen, y'all should put a little bit more respect on his name.
No. Like he should put more respect on that hair. Let me tell you something. For the longest, we were
I ain't gonna say it no more.
There we go. No, for the longest time, like we were just like, because like when you forget names, like even Odell, I just learned it in the last episode, and for the longest time, she's laughing because she knows. For the longest time, what was I saying? Turtle.
Turtle.
Yeah, so turtle. And when I even said that, she laughed and she said, "I know who you're talking about."
He really does look like a turtle. That shit.
Yeah,
he looked like a turtle. He looked like he do. He looked like one of those turtles who's just rebelling against Splinter. He's like, you failed me. Carry on. I'm sorry.
Raphael.
But it was after that scene that we get to the scene that we mentioned earlier, where Lala gets shot. He comes back, and we also get the freaking magical Anissa, who can do many things, including read sign language. Now she talks to the dad of the pretty girl, and that's when we showed that the I Am Groot girl, and she's bringing plants to life. Yes. We also get the what is this? Oh yeah, the Muslim girl. We see her training with Lynn, and she collapses, and because she's deteriorating. And Black Lightning comes back later to kind of ask her about the facility, because they take her places that they don't take Black Lightning. So he gets a little information from her, And that kind of causes like a little tension again between Lynn and Black Lightning, because she feels like he's kind of taking advantage of the girl by asking her these questions while she's so sick. And also, this is when our boy Khalil comes back to life, back from the dead yet again. Painkiller. Yeah, Six Pack is back, new and improved. He can do everything. He can speak whatever language. He knows a whole bunch of stuff. He's kicking A.
He was kicking some ass.
He was kicking some ass.
He was kicking some ass.
And that's when we get the scene where Odell says he wants to send him on a mission. And the mission is he got to kill his own mama.
Oh, man. Go ahead, bro.
That was nuts, because even the commander was like, listen, you think this is wise?
Yeah.
To go send him to kill his own mother? Like,
yeah.
And then Odell is just sitting there all gangster, like, oh man, this is how we're gonna be able to test if the thing works.
Right.
Cold-hearted.
Oh, he was so cold in these 2 episodes.
I wonder if had she not gone on to that the truth, what's the guy, truth teller, journalism guy, because she was the one that he interviewed on that part where he was taking over the radio stations. And even Gambi mentioned something along the lines of you should have disguised her voice, or at least disguised her voice. So everyone who knows that that's Khalil's mom. Yeah. So I wonder if had she not done that, would they still have sent him to kill her? Or would they just let her grieve her son?
I think they would have left her alone.
I wonder because it was the ultimate test.
But you would think, well, maybe they don't care as much, because you would think instead of killing her, they would want to question her about who this truth teller is. But that could be like a fault in the writing, or that could be like they didn't really much care. I don't know. But interesting. That was the end of the episode, though, guys. So we wrapped it up.
We did, and sure enough, I mean, like these last 2 episodes, Odell was such a cold-hearted a B word. You fill it in. Oh, Rudolph. That's Rudolph, right? That's Rudolph.
He's definitely a reptile.
You gotta watch it.
You do. Come on.
Season 3.
Hey, season 4 is getting ready to come out, bro. You gotta catch up, man. Hey, listen, it's on Netflix, and if you have time, watch these episodes. And of course, watch us too, because we break down these episodes, we make pop culture references, and we give these characters nicknames.
Yes, like Officer Hairline. And you'll be able to join us each episode for season 4, because we'll be talking about it, and yeah, it'll be fun.
And you should catch us again next week, because we're going to go into the middle of season 3, and we're going to discuss that, and then we're going to talk about the finale, and get you all quickly wrapped up for season 4, which comes, what is it, February 8th or something like that?
Yeah, yes. February 8th.
Oh my God!
Don't forget to check us out this week, because this week we're doing X.
Oh yeah, we're doing X-Men 2, and after that we're doing Wonder Woman 84.
Wonder Woman.
Well, you're gonna really discuss that.
Yes.
Yeah. You can come on if you want to come on. Everybody, right here.
Yeah. Don't you wish? Don't
we'll talk about that after the show, guys. Let's end this episode. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you next weekend to talk about.